Welcome to the Soon Podcast.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the Soon Podcast. I'm Alyssa. I'm a functional health practitioner, and this is my sister.
This is my sister. I'm Amanda Lynn, and I am a fashion curator. I need a new headline.
Just say I'm Amanda.
I'm Amanda Lynn. I'm a style curator and home decor buyer.
Very good. Everyone, every single week I have to edit Amanda's bio. Like, she redoes it 3 times every single podcast. Like, she can't say it right. And I'm like,
The sad thing is that I've had the same job for, this is going to be year 7. Like, I've not changed being a buyer. I just don't ever say it correctly. I'm like, I'm a fashion curator, home decor curator, buyer. I don't know. I'm a buyer. Hee hee. I'm also a little off of my game today, if you will. Number 1, it's Easter. So this is a little bit of a different episode for us.
he is risen.
This is going to be a sermon.
Yes, we brought a pastor to come chat.
Surprise. No, this is going to be a regular episode, but I did attend a wedding last night. And I will say, although I'm not 30 quite yet, we have about 2 months for that. I just can't drink and stay up like I used to. I just can't. I have a few more months before I'm 30, but like I feel like I've hit that 30 block where I'm like, oh, I can't
That's
just
not
drink.
a thing.
I can't just drink and bounce back. Like, I'm taking a moment in the morning. And then today I was not easy on myself because it's Easter. So I made a huge brunch for everyone. And then I went outside and I went to town on some gardening. And now I'm like, I shouldn't have done that.
Go
You know?
to the kitchen and get some electrolytes.
Yeah, I don't know. But anyways, we are very excited for today's episode. It's going to be one of the wellness sorts. Alyssa, loop the girlies and the boys in.
Yes. So today we are going to be talking about gut health, the major things I see, some hot button topics, and just kind of going over just some major tummy trouble things that I see in my week-to-week life as a health coach. And somehow it also landed on the same day that Amanda is, not feeling her best. So I guess I'm going to take the reins today. But first, let's just talk. Like, what's new with you? How was the wedding? What did you drink?
Okay. The wedding was amazing. It was at this spot in Phoenix called the Secret Garden. I've never been to a wedding there before. And it was quite literally stunning. They are the cutest couple. Mar was actually in the wedding, so it was really fun getting to see him up there. Usually we're in weddings together, so I've never gotten to just see him up there solo. And I thought that it was really cute,
That is cute. And I will say, last week we chatted. Amanda was going to wear a yellow dress. Then she saw on their wedding website that it said, please wear black. And I was like, literally no one's going to read that. Turns out nobody read it. Everyone was wearing colors. She should have worn her yellow dress. Brides, if you want people to have a thematic ensemble, you need to put it bright and center, bold on every single, invitation, reminder, like on the RSVP.
I feel like their ask was to wear black, and I feel like that's like the easiest ask out of, like, we've been to some weddings where they're like, wear florals, wear pastel, wear like XYZ. And so I feel like black is like, oh, like that's the easiest option. I just was really excited about the dress that I chose, and sad that I couldn't wear it. And then I got there and like a lot of people were not in black. But I was proud of myself because I'm like, you know what? In a room full of fishes that didn't read the invitation, be the fish that did. And technically I still didn't read the invitation. One of my friends told me. So, just follow whatever the bride says. It's her day. Do what she wants.
I do agree, actually. If you're gonna request something, black is not a big request.
Yeah.
And I feel like it elevates an event. And so I do understand that ask, actually. But I have been
agree.
seeing, people requesting like coastal colors, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, Come on.
You know, I don't know. I'm torn only because I am the kind of girl where it's like I take everything so literally. So I'm like, if you're saying cocktail casual, then like I'm coming in a spring dress, you know? And if you're saying formal, I'm coming in a gown. So I do really like the brides, even though I know it's a lot. But if you have a certain aesthetic that you want for your wedding and these pictures are going to last for forever, you don't want to crop people out. I love a mood board. I love it. I love it. Under like the Q&A section, a little Pinterest link to be like, here's what you can wear, because then you know, like, oh, this is their version of formal. This is their version of cocktail. Everyone sees everything so differently. And I feel like you look so dumb if you show up to a wedding like super formal or super casual and everyone else like got the vibe and you didn't. So, I mean, I like it. Tell me what to
Yeah,
wear.
I do like that. It's just so much work. And then you'll always have the people that come wearing whatever the heck they want, anyways. But
True.
I do like that. And I think on my wedding website, I said like our theme and our colors is going to be like coastal desert, something like that. I can't even remember what it was. But that way people like knew the vibes that were coming into it. And then like our wedding website matched that. So I think it's good to say, formal, semi-formal, cocktail, casual, whatever. That is definitely
100%.
very important. But even then people don't know what the hell is happening.
100%. And if you don't know, then look it up on Pinterest, because whatever you have in your head is probably incorrect and you need to, just figure it out. Whatever you wanted to wear is probably not what you should wear. So figure it out. I was drinking a gin and tonic all night. I had like a lot of them. Um I don't know why. I do this every single time, especially when it's an open bar. I get so, I just get so punchy that I'm like, I could have another one. And so then I do. And then what I need to do, especially if I'm drinking a clear drink, usually, usually I have the foresight to start asking the bartender like midway through, water, ice, lime, like just take the alcohol out.
You didn't ask for water the whole night?
No, so I didn't drink water like the whole night. I didn't do my normal routine of switching it up. I felt the cups were small, so I felt like I was like, "Oh, I'm drinking half a cup." And I wasn't, and then of course I went and they were doing some shots at the bar. So I had some shots, which were vodka, not gin. I was just breaking all the rules. I was gambling with my health and wellness for absolutely no reason. But that's
How
okay.
did you feel about the vodka shots?
Well, it was a white tea shot, which I think is
Oh,
honestly very classy. So,
white tea?
white tea.
Oh, because I've only had the green tea shots, but
Maybe
those
it was the green tea shot. No, I swear it said white tea, but
I'm gonna look it up.
it was like peach.
Oh yeah, vodka peach schnapps, sour. That's yummy. Um,
Yeah, it's yummy.
this reminds me of at my bachelorette, Amanda's like, "Do you want a shot?" We're at dinner. I say, "Okay, that sounds good. Let's crank it up." She goes and gets me a double shot of plain vodka. We're at Malibu Farm at 5 p.m. Okay? Vodka. No lime,
Okay,
nothing.
I'm not a big shot. Like, I'll take a shot if it's handed to me, but I'm not really like, I'm not the bartender ever.
Clearly.
It's not me. It's not my job. I can't do it. And I never know what kind of alcohol I'm ordering. Like, I don't know. I don't care. I don't want to know. The Malibu Farms employee, I was like, she needs a shot. She's the bride. And they were like, vodka or tequila. And I'm like,
Ew.
I think. And they're like, okay. And they brought it out. So I'm like, you know what? Like, I feel like they kind of did me dirty, even
They
offering
did.
that. So it's kind of their fault.
Yeah, they are too used to like celebrities who just want to be like drunk but no calories. And I'm like, give me the calories, give me the schnapps, give me the flavor because that's disgusting. Well,
I was just going straight to the gut, which leads us back to our
no,
topic today.
no, it doesn't because you haven't even asked me about my life. And I have things to say.
Okay, well, that's enough about me. I had a fantastic weekend, and hippity hop 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 hop. Cheers to the bunny and the man upstairs.
Holy shit. What did you just say?
So
My God. Okay. Well, so I'll give you a rundown on my week while Amanda's gathering herself.
okay. I'm crying. Okay. Anyway,
Guys, she is not okay. Okay. So
tell me about your weekend. Tell me about your week. What's going on?
honestly, it's been quite busy. And then on top of that, as many know, Paul and I have been trying for a baby. And my, time of the month came and went. Nothing, nothing. So what did I do? I took a pregnancy test. It was positive. My first ever positive test. Not expecting it. I go to get, a more expensive one because the first one I took, it was just like one of those little strips.
Okay.
And then I got an expensive one and it was negative. So then I was like, what? It's very rare to have a positive pregnancy test.
Right.
So I'm like trying to do some mental math in my head. I'm like, which one of you are wrong? And then I look and I see that I accidentally took a freaking ovulation test, you guys. Ovulation, not a pregnancy test. So that's how my week is. Because then right around the corner was, that time of the month. So that was really, really fun with a vengeance and just mental gymnastics. So we are still not pregnant. But yeah, for anyone who went on Amazon and they thought this looks like a great deal, and it's like a package of 100 tests. It's in a mix of pregnancy tests and ovulation tests all in one bag. Just beware, think twice before buying that because it'll get you. It'll get you.
That is tricky. And I hate that you had to go through that. So I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. But I just wanted people to beware and just, the joy of TTC. Now we can finally get on to the real topic of today.
Tell us what we're talking about this week.
This is the question everybody's wondering. Okay. Are you ready? Why everyone has gut issues right now and what is like actually going on. So whenever I tell people I'm a health coach and then I'm like, yeah, I deal with women with like gut health issues and hormone issues, everyone's like, oh my God, I need you. I have tummy issues. Oh my gosh, this. I'm like, so literally all of us are dealing with something with our gut. It is crazy. And I don't know why this is happening. And so I just decided to dig into it because obviously the people that I see day to day have these tummy issues. And so they come to us and we solve what's going on. But I didn't know that literally every single one of us seems to have these issues, like everybody.
You'll see it on TikTok all the time. It's like hot girl tummy issues, like all of the things, because I feel like everyone is dealing with some sort of something, whether it's a gluten intolerance, whether it's, I don't know what other things there are, and you'll probably say them, but I feel like everyone's got a little something going on down under.
Yes, I totally agree. Do you feel like everyone you know has some kind of gut issue?
100%.
What the heck? What is your biggest stomach complaint right now?
What is my biggest stomach complaint? What is not my biggest stomach complaint? No, I feel like I deal with a lot of bloat issues, which is very annoying. And then other than that, I think it's just a pretty standard gut issues. I don't have anything crazy happening, but I have heard stories.
I know. I actually feel like your gut health is pretty good, honestly. Like,
yeah, it's gotten a lot better.
When you say you bloat, this girl does not bloat. Okay.
That is just your ideology. It's fake. That's fake news.
She has a completely flat stomach. I don't know what this bloat is that she's talking about, but
it's really nice, sis.
if
Just
you want
try
to bloat,
working in an office setting and eating like a big lunch and you wore jeans to work that day. Like I just have to unbutton my pants. Like I'll throw a sweater on. I can't do it. Like I can't sit after I eat if I'm wearing tight clothes. And here's the funny thing. This is something that I've noticed over the last year or so is I used to wear extremely tight clothing, like too small for me kind of clothing. And I loved it. I lived for it. It was my favorite thing in the world to do. I loved feeling snatched and secure. I cannot do it. I can't have anything around my waist anymore. And this is not anything to do with gut, but like I cannot wear a bra, like the underneath. It bothers me to no extent. And I can't wear tight clothing to work because I'm like there for so long. And I feel like throughout the day, if I'm snacking or I'm eating or I'm yada, yada, yada-ing, I just can't do it. I can't do it. It's so painful. It hurts me. And that's how I know that I bloat.
I feel like you have become me because that has always been me. I refuse to wear a bra. I refuse to wear anything tight. Like, I do not own anything that is tight.
She
I mean,
doesn't. It's
besides
kind of
that.
concerning sometimes. I'm like, you're so small.
Small
Yeah. Like, I'm like, where's your bodycon
bodycon. Yeah, there
dresses?
will be no bodycons. Okay. Not a bodycon in sight ever. So, like I said, as a health coach, I look at gut tests every single day. One thing that I always test, it's called a GI map, and that's what the gut test is that we use. And what is it? It's a stool test. So basically, you take a stool sample and then they take it to the lab and you like literally mail in this stool sample, you guys. It's kind of gross. No one talks about it, but it is necessary.
No one talks about it.
They don't. Lots of people are doing these GI maps and nobody's talking about it.
Okay.
They had to collect a sample, y'all, and ship it. And what does this GI map tell us? So it looks at the bacteria in your stool. That tells us what's going on in your gut. So there's good bacteria and there's bad bacteria. And you obviously don't want too much bad bacteria, and you don't want too high or too low of your good bacteria in your gut either. It'll also look at parasites, fungi like candida and yeast, digestive markers. So it'll look at your digestive enzymes to making sure that you're able to break down your food. And then it also looks at immune markers. So it tells us if you have, your immune system is activated in your gut, as well as inflammation. There's a huge inflammatory marker that can be seen. And then it also tests your gluten response. So if you are having an immune response to the protein found in gluten, it'll tell us that. Do you think you would have anything in yours, Amanda?
Yeah, I do. I feel
What
like,
do you think?
well, okay. Fine. We'll talk about it. So, everyone knows because I talk about it all the time on this podcast. But if you don't know, I have an obsession with strawberry milk. And I do think I could be slightly lactose intolerant because every time I drink it, I'm in so much pain.
You're in pain?
Yeah. But it's worth it because I love strawberry milk so much.
Well, Amanda, there are so many solutions to that. Number one is you can buy a lactose-free strawberry milk. You can make your own.
No.
Or you can take lactate, which is an enzyme that digests lactose, because many of
Oh,
us have
that could
lactose
be cute.
intolerance.
Okay, that's fun.
But that does, make me question if you have some inflammation or immune markers popping up in your GI map. Some other hot topic gut issues that I see literally every single day and help people treat are H. pylori. Have you heard of this?
From you.
Really? Okay,
Okay, keep
so
going. Yeah, I've heard of it.
H. pylori is huge. It's a bacteria. It's found in about 50% of people. So a lot of us have underlying H. pylori, and some people even argue that this is normal. We want like a little bit of H. pylori because there are little bits of bacterias in our guts all over our body that some people would be like, oh, that's bad, such as staphylococcus. You've heard of staph. Well, that's also a normal thing to find in the gut, but it should be in small levels. So this is kind of a similar thing, but H. pylori is a corkscrew bacteria. So it's in the shape of a corkscrew. And what it does is it survives in your stomach. Even though you have stomach acid, it survives that. And what it does is it burrows in and it lowers your stomach acid over time. So your stomach acid is so, so important. I think this is one of the number one reasons why we have tummy issues nowadays is because we're taking things like NSAIDs and Pepcid and Pepto-Bismol and Tums, and all of those things lower stomach acid. And what is our stomach acid there for? It's there to, number one, protect us against gut bugs. It'll kill them. It also helps us digest our food so that we can absorb it. So if we have low stomach acid, we're going to have some issues, you guys. And especially with this H. pylori, because when it lowers your stomach acid, it just keeps going deeper and deeper into your gut and continues lowering it. So this can create poor digestion, nutrient deficiencies, and actually acid reflux and bad breath are one of the most common symptoms of H. pylori, because H. pylori also lives in the mouth. Very interesting. But like I said, this really opens the door to other infections. So it's something that you want to take care of. Yeah. So I would say 90% of the people that come to us at my work have H. pylori. I think it's a huge driver of tummy issues, and then it really contributes to low stomach acid.
Interesting. I had no idea.
Yes. So that is a big one that I just think a lot of people should be aware of, as well as being aware of taking those acid blockers and things that affect stomach acid in your gut. You don't want that. You want to strengthen your stomach acid. It's actually going to help with your reflux.
I do have a question about H. pylori.
What's your question?
Okay, my question is, if you're saying that we shouldn't be taking Pepto-Bismol, Tums, XYZ, what would you recommend, especially if you're a girly with tummy problems? I love a Tums. I pop them every day, probably. So what would you recommend instead?
Oh my gosh, there's so many good things that you can take. I am going to be a huge advocate for anybody to test what's going on in your gut before you just take something.
Right.
But also Tums and things like that, you are just putting a Band-Aid on top of the problem. So you're not actually finding out and solving what's causing this. If it is very rare, so say like you have indigestion once every other month, whatever, sure, you can keep those things on hand. But there are just so many better options. So number one, which I could talk about more later, is to work on your stomach acid on its own. There are certain things that you can have relief with, but I would like cut those Tums in half, try to dwindle your way down and off of those because it is so hard. It's really hard to get off of those acid blockers once you're on them. So you need to slowly try to dwindle off of those. And so taper yourself off. And while you're doing that at the same time, you can really work on your gut health. So there are amazing supplements that you can take to help with leaky gut. So to help with that indigestion, there are amazing things like aloe vera juice that can soothe the gut lining as well as the esophagus, which are things that cause like acid reflux. So that's really soothing to that. There's mucilaginous herbs, which aloe vera is one of them. Think of it like if you open up aloe vera and it's very gooey inside. So that's very soothing. And there's a lot of herbs that are like that. So I can do a whole post about recommendations and things to have on hand, like a natural pharmacy at home. But one thing that I also find that can be helpful is to use digestive enzymes. So you can buy digestive enzymes, and that's going to help you break down your food as well. And that way, maybe you're not going to have as many issues and indigestion. But yeah, I will do a whole post on it. I think that's a good idea. But I know it's really hard, girlies. So really try to taper yourself off. I used to be a big ibuprofen girly, and I mean like 2 to 4 almost every single day. And when I started trying for a baby and I realized that you shouldn't really take ibuprofen during the first, part of your pregnancy and whatnot, I was like, crap, I really need to taper off of these. And so, you know what? I did. And now I'm totally fine. Sometimes we are on something because it's a habit and not actually because we need it. And it doesn't actually help or solve the issue. And so I think challenge yourself and try to taper off of those things that you're on. The next thing I wanted to talk about was SIBO, which is small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. And this is huge for the bloating girlies. And I mean like real bloat. One of my best friends has SIBO. She looks 8 months pregnant after eating every now and then. And it is alarming. It is uncomfortable. And it is painful. So, I mean, this is real bloat, not your typical maybe I have to unbutton a button every now and then. So SIBO, like I said, it's bacterial overgrowth. And I said before, you want your bacteria in your gut to be all in a line with each other. You want a certain amount of good bacteria, certain amount of other bacteria. You don't want your good bacteria to be too high, and you definitely don't want your bad bacteria to be overgrown, especially the ones that are gas producers. There are some microbes in the gut that feed on food and create gas as a byproduct. And that is one of the common things that you find on a GI map, and that is indicative of SIBO. So these bacteria, they ferment food, it produces gas. Food is basically fermenting inside you like kombucha. So it's just a lot of gas. And it's
Ew.
really hard to eliminate, but it is possible. And so if you suspect that you have that, you should definitely go to a naturopath. You should definitely go to a health coach, someone that's going to really help you, because you have to incorporate dietary as well as lifestyle changes and most likely an antimicrobial protocol.
That's crazy. I had no idea that that was a thing. And I feel like, that's intense. I couldn't imagine. So I'm so sorry to any of the girlies, or I guess men, that experience that. So tell us a little bit about how you think you would know if you had SIBO. Like, what are the normal side effects that you could expect? And if you have any tips aside from going to go see someone professionally, if you have any tips that they can be doing at home just to make themselves feel better.
So for SIBO, you would definitely see that chronic bloating. You eat something and you just are bloating, and that can lead to abdominal pain and discomfort, gas. You have just like lots of gas issues excessively. Maybe you're feeling diarrhea and constipation. Honestly, SIBO has no bounds, but the main one is bloating, I would say. And so the number one thing I would not do is randomly take a probiotic. I would not eat foods that are uncooked. So things like vegetables, those are really hard to digest, and especially raw. So you're going to want to cook all of your vegetables. You're going to want to have really warm, soothing, comforting foods that are going to be easy to break down in your stomach. So again, those digestive enzymes can be very helpful, but you're going to have to get rid of that bacteria that's overgrown in your gut. So the only way to do that truly is most likely taking an antimicrobial, but you can also boost your good gut bacteria, but that's with a probiotic. And that's what I said you don't want to just jump into. But there are some that are SIBO safe. And so those are spore-based probiotics. There's also Saccharomyces boulardii is safe for SIBO, but definitely work with a practitioner, because you're going to have to go really, really slow when you're introducing these things. Otherwise, it can be more painful, and we don't want that. But yeah, I would definitely work with a practitioner. It's worth it. So that's my
Good
tip
to know.
there. Yeah. The last one that I want to talk about is very icky. Parasites. Yes. Many people love to post about these, because when you do a parasite cleanse, there are things that can be coming out of you that look like worms. And so this is kind of something that you'll see online that's like triggering and nasty, but usually what's actually happening is that mucus is coming out of you and it just looks like a worm. But of course, there are those instances where you might actually see a worm because you're doing a parasite cleanse and it's nasty. So these are definitely less common. Thank God I do not see these too much on a GI map, but one of the reasons for that is probably because they are hard to detect. They hide in things called biofilms, which are these like shields that bacteria use to protect themselves. And so these can come from food, water, traveling, your pets, unfortunately, and these can affect your digestion. But one thing that they, can also affect is your mood, your energy, and your sleep, because they affect your neurotransmitters. So this is a really big gut-brain connection that they can disrupt. And so if you are having any of those issues, like really difficult sleep time sleeping, you're having a lot of anxiety and mood issues, and your energy's just gone, maybe you're losing weight, you want to think about parasites. And there's a lot of practitioners that will do parasite cleanses without even testing. I would suggest testing still. But if you do think that you have parasites, then they can be really hard to catch in a GI map as well. It's a crazy little bug. Have you ever seen anybody post anything like that?
No, thank the Lord I'm not on that side of social media, and I hope to never be. So I'm not going to accept that energy at this time. Uh, but I do think that that's crazy. When I was so sick from food poisoning after or right before Alyssa's wedding, I had been sick for like a full week. So I went and got tested because I was like, maybe it's a parasite, maybe it's something crazy. It wasn't. It wasn't. I was just really sick. But I was like, that's the only reason why I could still be sick, but it wasn't. Maybe one day.
It was probably just a lingering bug. But back to the big picture, why is this happening to everyone? Like I said, everyone is taking these Tums, they're lowering their stomach acid, they can't protect their gut's not protected anymore because we're lowering the stomach acid. You also have a weak gut environment. You are using antacids, NSAIDs like ibuprofen, and then above that, I feel like antibiotics get handed out like candy. And just because you have a cold or a flu and you take an antibiotic, well, guess what? That wipes out a lot of the good gut bacteria in your gut as well. So that's also another reason why you should, think twice before just hopping to get an antibiotic, unless it's needed, of course. And then above that, of course, our water is not the best quality anymore. So our minerals are out of whack and we are just nutrient depleted because our food and the soil is nutrient depleted. And so you really want to strengthen your gut. And what you can do, eat a diverse diet. That is how you build up your good gut bacteria. You want to eat the rainbow. You want to eat many varieties of these different vegetables. It's not great if you only eat asparagus and broccoli with every single meal. It's not great if you only eat, white rice. You want to also mix in quinoa and bulgur and other kinds of grains. You want to do a huge variety because you need to feed all these different kinds of gut bugs. You also want to, incorporate fiber into your diet because fiber is a prebiotic, so that also feeds the good gut bacteria. Also, supporting your gut naturally before jumping into supplements. Don't blindly take probiotics. You want to test, not just guess. If you have an overgrowth, adding more bacteria can actually make you feel worse. And so after listening to this, Amanda, what's one thing that you think you would realistically change, if anything?
Probably our eating habits. I think that diet, probably a lot of things. Taking less Tums. The only thing that stresses me out about that is just like, I don't want to be in pain, but maybe try to not jump straight to that as soon as my stomach starts hurting. And I think to negate that, I would start adding different things into our diet. So, like you're saying, eating a different variety, eating more of everything, I think is something that we could definitely benefit from. So, I would definitely do that. And then I also think it just takes the time to see what is causing my stomach issues. If I notice a lot, obviously strawberry milk is off the table. That will not be getting removed from my diet anytime soon. But I think that would be super helpful. And maybe I'll do a GI test. Maybe I'll submit a stool. Like, why not?
You
I'm
really
definitely
should.
gonna do one for my husband.
Have HSA, FSA, whatever those things are. I mean, you can definitely do one of these and then submit it for reimbursement. But yeah, definitely focusing on diverse foods. So not the same 5 meals every single week, fiber from those whole foods and protein fat to stabilize your digestion, and then supporting your stomach acid naturally. So there's so many great ways to do that. Number one is really chewing your food a lot before you just swallow it. So try not to be eating on the go or not actually paying attention to digestion. And then optional gentle supports are lemon water. So that's actually really great at telling and signaling your stomach that you're about to eat, and it'll amp up making stomach acid. You can
Oh,
also have a little apple cider vinegar before meals, diluted in water. And then just regulating your nervous system is a huge one. So, taking some deep breaths before eating is what we tell a lot of our clients that. And then you can also have bitter foods before meals. I also use what's called digestive bitters instead of enzymes because this is a more natural way to help my body to produce those things before I eat. And so what it is it's like a bitter liquid. You spray it on your tongue and you like let it sit there for 15 minutes before you eat. And then your body is cued to start up those digestive enzymes, that stomach acid, but you can also eat bitter foods. So, like arugula before meals is a really good idea too, and stimulant. But like I said, you want to cook your food. If you're having tummy troubles, get it tested. Make sure that you aren't just throwing these supplements at it. You want to actually know what's going on.
are there any foods that you would suggest to not eat if you're dealing with these issues?
Every single issue would have a different dietary restrictions. So, especially for SIBO, there is something called FODMAPs. There are fermentable foods that you want to avoid eating for a specific amount of time because those can trigger that bloating. So that's that for that. And then when it comes to H. pylori, I there's debate about what to eat and what not to eat. So for right now, I usually just say to stick with the foundations. If anyone's having tummy troubles, a great way to help fix your leaky gut and start working on your gut is to eliminate gluten and dairy. Unfortunately, those are very inflammatory foods. And so at least eliminating them for 60 days can help your gut lining seal again. And then you can slowly try to reincorporate those while also in the meantime, incorporating probiotics, working on your stomach acid, all of those things. So that's a really good one. And then for parasites, I actually don't know. I don't know if there's a specific food that you should eat with parasites or not eat.
Hmm.
There are with
Yeah.
candida, which we did not talk about today, but that is a yeast that can grow in your gut and that can really contribute to acne and fungal acne. And for that one, that actually thrives on sugar. And so if you have candida, you want to do a candida diet to help eliminate it. And that would be very sugar free.
Okay.
Sadly. But yeah, I'm so excited about these things because this is what I see every single day when I work with clients.
Yeah.
And you really have to work with them from a foundational aspect. Just taking antimicrobials it's going to kill those bacteria, but then you also have to heal the gut lining. You have to feed your good gut bacteria, and you have to help the people relearn how to digest their food, what kinds
Right.
of foods, and usually that does include eliminating gluten and dairy for a time.
Is there one habit that you see or a trend that you see posted that is healthy that actually could be wrecking people's guts?
Well, I definitely think just taking any probiotic blindly can be fueling your gut bacteria growth in a bad way and causing a lot of bloat, including fiber, eating a lot of fiber without knowing what's going on in your gut or not slowly introducing it. And there are specific fibers. I think I've talked before. SIBO, the SIBO safe fiber is called sun fiber prebiotic. So that's something that you can do. But one of the other things that I feel like can be really harmful to our gut with bloating is eating salads and raw veggies all the time. So that's kind of a crazy trend that a lot of women follow. And I myself love salad. And
Right.
so I really have to like take those digestive bitters and get my digestion going before I eat a salad because that's really, really hard on our gut to digest. It's a lot of fibrous foods. So cooking your food, having bone broth, those are all great habits that I love. And lemon water
Okay.
early in the morning. I think that's great too.
Okay. That's exciting. I don't have any more questions for you.
I know. Luckily, we don't have debilitating gut issues, but for the girlies that do, I know it can feel really hard. I'm working with someone right now who it's like she can't trust her gut. She just cannot trust if she has to go to the bathroom and whatnot. Some people are scared to eat out. It's really hard out there for people with gut issues. And so you are hot. It's going to be okay. And work with a functional health practitioner like myself, and we'll get it all under control. But you know what? It takes a lot of work.
Or just as someone who doesn't have gut issues, but I feel like from looking on the outside in, it would be really scary and overwhelming to know where to start. So, where would you start if you were in their position? And if it's getting a health coach or working with a health practitioner, maybe say, like, if there's a certain type that you would suggest or of like what they should be searching. Cause I feel like even for me, trying to find someone is overwhelming.
Okay. So, one mistake that I see a lot is people running to their doctor, their physician, their traditional physician, and they are not taking their problem seriously. And so I do love and respect physicians, and I know that there is a time and a place, but 100% I would start with a functional medicine health coach. I myself am a functional nutritional health practitioner. And so I would work with an FDNP. That's what I am. My boss herself at Mad Healthy, she struggled with SIBO and PCOS, and that's what our program is all about. We help women with all kinds of issues, and we are literally experts in it because we've seen so many. So I think anyone that, really specializes in gut troubles and has a program that is at least 3 months is going to get you where you need to be. If they're like, okay, here's your, 1 month protocol, that's not going to do it. That's literally just going to be a waste of your time and your money, unfortunately. Another option is a naturopathic physician. They are usually trained in GI maps and also gut bugs and doing antimicrobials, and they can also see you through it and check in on you every month or whatever. So I think that's what I would do. And then you can also get your lab ran by your naturopath or FDN, and then you can take that to a GI doctor if you feel more comfortable going that route. But that way, they can really take the time and explain the dietary changes that you can make, lifestyle changes, and what options that you have. And one option that you will always have is going to your GI doctor. I just think that that is not going to give you the time and answers that you want because they are, faster about things and they might disregard your symptoms at first, honestly. That's just the experiences that I've heard, unfortunately. And hopefully things change and doctors become a little more holistic minded and really get time to listen to their patients. But that's just really hard right now in this time that we're in with insurance and all of that stuff.
Okay. No, I think that this is super helpful. I hope that all of the girlies get excited about this. I know that gut problems are tragic and something that a lot of women struggle with. So we're here to help. I'm here to listen. Alyssa's here to help.
It's true. I will try to do a post, but honestly, there's so much nuance. There's so many different things that could be going on. And this was just a little piece about what could be going on with women's guts. And so I hope that it was informative and helpful and reassuring if you are struggling that there can be answers out there. And yeah, I hope everyone has a beautiful Easter week and we will talk soon.
Talk soon.